blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... he landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Finally, the truck has come back to Rockingham. It's time for round number 8 of season number 3 of Truck 200. The I Got a Rockingham Turn 200. Good Lord. I Got a Rockingham 200 here on Turn 200. It's Truck 200. It's officially the halfway mark of the full season, but things are tightening up as we get ready to go chase racing here in just a few weeks' time. Welcome to The Rock. My name is Tommy Cook. We got Matt Williamson alongside partner. This is a track we really have not got to showcase a whole lot of, at least on the stock car side of things. It's always good to get another chapter in the book here.
Yeah, it's one we come to, not super often, like you mentioned. I think maybe the last time we were here was with the Daredevil series, and this is a completely different animal than that. So, it's gonna be good, but it's gonna be a tough night for the drivers. This is not an easy track to get yourself around, let alone with other drivers around you. Drivers are going to have to be very patient. They're going to have to give each other some room to operate here. Otherwise, it could get ugly quickly.
Let's go and take a look at the point standings after 200 miles in Michigan last week. Things are looking pretty interesting, and a couple things to note on this leaderboard here as well.
Yeah, let's take a look at the points. Gavin Sanders is up by a pretty darn good margin here at this point. Plus 399 after round 7 at Michigan. So, yeah, he is looking pretty good. Justin Michaels sitting pretty decent as well. He's sitting there in second. Hunter Engrav in third. Will Weiser, Caleb Bency, they're both plus 100 plus. But things get interesting after that. Charlie Widener, only 21 points to the good. Scott Patton, 19, and Mike Milfelt, only 11 points to the good. You got Matt Schlosser sitting there right in contention to grab any of those 3 spots. James Lehman, not too far behind. I'm not sure he's here tonight, though, because he also missed last week. Rob Haynes sitting there 71 points behind. Heath Smith only 80 points behind. Steve Roman only 85 points behind. I would say any of those drivers, maybe minus James Lehman at this point, have a shot to get themselves into the chase.
Of course, Lehman will be a threat to win anytime he does show up, but seemingly is going to be out of contention for a chase berth. Another driver seemingly that is going to be on the outside looking in as well. You may as well move Matt Schlosser up to the 8th position, because Mike Milfelt has said some things have come up, and he is looking unlikely to be able to compete for the rest of the season, which is a darn shame. He's been fantastic here this season. So, for all intents and purposes, basically Matt Schlosser is in by a margin of 60 points back to Rob Haynes, who is also not here tonight, although I do believe Rob has a provisional in his back pocket. A couple other drivers on the right side of that graphic are not here tonight, including Steve Roman, who's been very good of late. Joshua Matacek, likewise, not here. Brody Gunter is not here. Brandon Groover and Heath Smith going to be eating pretty good here tonight just by being on the starting grid. 200 miles. This track is just a little bit longer than a mile, so we only get 197 laps here tonight at the Rock, and the starting lineup will look like this. With the pole position here tonight, it will be Hunter Engrav leading the field to the green. And guess what? Last week's winner, Justin Michael, will be on the outside of the front row. Row number 2 is Luke Peterson and Scott Patton. They will be on row number 2. TJ Crampton back in the lineup here tonight after missing the last couple weeks. He starts in P5 next to Heath Smith. Caleb Bency looking for a bounce back after an early technical error took him out of the running last week at Michigan. He starts in 7th. Next to Kyle Zittel, it's Andy Pleski and Paul Ellison. Once again, rocking it on Monday nights. He will round out your top 10 starters. Matt Schlosser was very fast in practice. Not quite the qualifying effort he was looking for. He'll start in 11th. Next to Joshua Hagee there in the 7 in 12th. Zach Flau and Brandon Groover on row number 7. It's Joshua Rutherford and Charlie Widener. Charging Charlie starting P16. Peter Donchak and Dale Weiser is back in the lineup after missing Michigan last week. Your Volusia winner starts in 18th. Top 20 rounded out by Nate Siefker and Gavin Sanders, way deep in the lineup here, starting in P20. Will Weiser, Logan Spath on row number 11. It's Cole Maxwell and Dakota Tomei, the last driver to put up a qualifying time, although he did his laps literally driving backwards. So he will start in 24th on a very slow qualifying time. Back row drivers both had incidents coming out of turn 4 to take the white flag. So they did not get to post times. That's Corey Rutherford and Travis Fleming. 26 drivers here tonight at the Rock. A couple of Halloween-themed paint schemes to go with the I Got a Rockingham title. And Matt, what is Autodromo Dwayne Johnson looking like here today in the North Carolina sunshine?
Well, currently, track temperature right now is 101 degrees, which isn't super warm, but it's not super cool either. This is a track that you would really like to have a little bit cooler with the rough track surface. So that'll be something to keep our eye on throughout the day as we roll along here. No fast repairs as always here in Truck 200. Fuel capacity is roughly 85 to maybe a little bit few more laps. But I mean, they're going to get some off throttle time here, so maybe looking more towards 90 laps on a tank of fuel. We got 197 laps around Rockingham here tonight. We do have incident point limits. 24x is a drive-through. 32x is a disqualification. You are going to have to really get yourself in trouble to hit those numbers. The halfway bonus points will be paid out at the completion of lap 99 here tonight.
Yeah, with how fast this track is and how narrow it is, there's nowhere to escape. You're not going to hit 32 incident points. There's no doubt about that one. More of a formality on that end. Pace truck is off. It's Hunter Engrav and Justin Michael on the front row. We're underway at the Rock. Paul Elson really stacking up that outside line from 10th on back. Side by side, headed to Thunder Alley. It's still Michael and Engrav. It's a crossover from Patton here, looking for third on Peterson. Turns 3 and 4, very bumpy. Will be treacherous here on the colder tires. Top 10 or so navigate it cleanly, and lap 1 is in the books. It's Justin Michael from the outside pole who gets on the brakes early. Engrav going to send it deep here, looking to clear, and he is clear. He'll take the lead back.
Oh, man, you see a couple of drivers really flirting with the wall early out of 2. That is going to be a common theme throughout the night. Gavin Sanders just about blasted it on lap 2.
Heath Smith has been close both times. He got close out of turn 4 as well. He's finally able to get back in line after losing a couple of positions. He's back to 9th. But yeah, that turn 2 wall creeps up on you, even on fresh tires. And the worse off these tires get, the closer and closer that turn 2 wall, or the backstretch wall on Thunder Alley is going to seem.
And if you didn't realize how tight this track is, the fact that everybody was single file after the first lap tells you just how tough it is. My goodness.
That's Crampton. Wow. I mean, that truck is wrecked, and he saves that. I don't know how. He might lose a position here, as that's going to be Caleb Binsey looking underneath. Crampton going to take it all the way up to the wall.
This is getting interesting because Kyle Zittel tried to put it in the middle there, and now Scott Patton's looking for the lead.
Patton took third into 1, or took second into 1. He'll take the lead back into 1 the next time around. And Patton not playing around from 4th to 1st here on lap number 5. But of course, look who he passed. Engrav and Michael are 2 tire conservation experts in a track where you really are going to need to save some rubber here, especially with a 2-stop race seemingly looming ahead of these drivers. You know, if it were to go green the whole way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it. They can go a long ways on fuel, but they're not going to go that long as Luke Peterson gets a little bit too deep into the corner. Moves it up the racetrack, but able to hang on to some positioning there.
I know I say it every time that we come here, but you always forget how banked Rockingham is until you're hanging it out in 3 and 4, all the way up on the top side where Peterson just was, and where Justin Michael might find himself here in a second, as Crampton looking underneath for 3rd. Michael will answer back with some good momentum, but I think Crampton will take this spot from now, move himself on to provisional podium. It's Caleb Binsey making a dime to the inside of Luke Peterson behind.
You know, usually it's easier. Look at this. Crampton going to look to the inside of Hunter Engrav. Usually it's easier to tell how bumpy a track is when you go inside the truck with somebody, but, I mean, it is so easy to tell, even from a wide angle, just how bouncy these trucks are on the track surface, especially through the turns on entry into them specifically. They really load and unload quite interestingly, I guess you could say.
And Grav did not sound supremely confident about this track when we talked to him on the podium last week, but the counterpoint to that is he's Hunter Engrav. This is just business as usual for him, saving early. Caleb Binsey, meanwhile, on the charge, looking to the inside. And we'll get the spot. Luke Peterson might sneak in here as well. TJ
they were gonna
Crampton.
take a
Oh,
dive
yes.
underneath also. That was kind of a late move by the 53.
I wasn't expecting that. Keeping an eye on Gavin Sanders. Started at 20th. He's up to 16th and is looking underneath a couple drivers right now for position. So he is on the move here early, slowly but surely. Lap number 11 is on the board, 10 complete. Patton will put 12 on the board this time. Since Crampton's gotten up to second, running almost the exact same lap times as Scott Patton, now starting to push the issue a little bit, was a tenth and a half quicker than the leader last time.
I mean, this is kind of one of those racetracks where you kind of look to some of the races from earlier on in the season. I'm looking at Darlington, and a lot of the drivers that were fast at Darlington are in your top 4 right now. So I think this track right now is going to suit those drivers that did well at the Lady in Black.
Well, everybody hanging out in the chat. Of course, Nate Siefker, Corey Rutherford, and Joshua Rutherford are out on the track right now. Hello to Rob Williams, Team 200 driver, Pamela Engrav, and Amy Phillips cheering on Papa Paul, who has slid back to spot number 11, battling with Heath Smith and Josh Higgy right now.
And things are starting to tighten up right here in the middle of the pack as you see Nate Siefker go for a move on Widener. He goes up the racetrack, makes some contact with the 95.
It does not take much to send a truck around here, and it's very easy to make contact. So this
and then right
track
down
is
on
just
the
a
yellow
powder
line.
keg.
Nearly got him to the apron. That could have been bad for the 2.
Just want to point out as well, documenting the progress of some of our points front runners. Gavin Sanders making up ground. Will Weiser is as well, but not quite as much. He's just cracked the top 20. And did not turn any laps in practice, so Weiser with work to do. But he had work to do at Darlington as well and still came away with a good result.
Sanders going to go for a dive underneath of Siefker now, not able to make it stick.
Still single file at the front of the field, but things are tightening up a little bit. TJ Crampton has cut the lead down to under half a second now, up to Scott Patton. Caleb Bensey, Luke Peterson awfully close here. Peterson searching around maybe to try and find a way through on the reigning series champ. And Bensey himself not too terribly far behind Justin Michael here.
Side by side further back, Will Weiser, Joshua Rutherford battling. This is just inside the top 20. And Weiser's going to get the best of Rutherford for right now, and then his brother, Corey Rutherford, right behind him. Actually, it's 2 names in 4 positions all together here. The Weisers are having a Rutherford sandwich right now.
As I say, it's a father, son, brother sandwich. Love that.
I think that's a first.
It might be. We'll mark it down. But thanks to Corey for sponsoring tonight. A couple drivers at Corey's request running some Halloween-themed schemes. Halloween in January, why not? Oh, we got trouble. Caution is out. Oh, no. Cat got on the keyboard and threw the caution. Now that is a first for Truck 200. Because I don't have a cat, and I've never accidentally thrown a caution.
I think we're going to... I don't know if we're going to ban pit stops here. We're
Well,
gonna
yeah,
get
we are
one...
keeping pits closed is the call.
I think that's probably a good idea. It's definitely not the first time on a Turn 200 stream that a cat has had some sort of influence on the race, but it is certainly the first time it has ever done its own race control adminning. So, I don't remember. It may have been the Truck 200 race at Daytona that a cat jumped on a steering wheel and put somebody in the wall. I can't remember who that was.
So we're going right now.
Oh boy.
So we're awfully tight now at the front of this field.
yeah,
It's got
yeah,
Pat
we
and
are.
TJ Crampton now going to be side by side.
It's going to be interesting to see who's saved tire, because now that they're bunched back up, I think you're going to be able to tell pretty easily.
Yeah, some not great restarts there through the field on older tires. And just like that, Justin Michael had some ground on the inside, but TJ Crampton rocking it around the outside will take that second position back. Patton still leading. Here's Caleb Bensey now.
Oh, one on the wall, I think.
Yeah.
May have been Heggie, and it was. He didn't slap it super hard. It certainly could have been worse, but definitely don't want to be doing that too early. Only on lap 24 here. Oh, and Crampton
Here's a
is
move.
all the way up to the wall.
Move to the inside. Caleb Bensey on Justin Michael as Crampton reeling in Patton here. And they'll take it to the wall again here in 3 and 4. Right up to it. The midget driver using the cushion there in 3 and 4. And he gets some momentum off of it. He's inside of a truck length here, looking for the race lead.
Look at that,
Crampton.
Patton up the racetrack to try and block.
Crampton struck 200 when came on a 1.5 mile track, but make no mistake about it, he's a short track guy. Scott Patton's a short track guy too.
Scott Patton, typically a flat short track guy, though. This is a supremely banked short track. On board here with TJ Crampton. Interesting to watch Scott Patton almost mirror drive a little bit. Crampton was going high. Patton took the line away. Crampton's been going low in 3 and 4 now, and Patton has done the same. Now Crampton going to try the bottom side.
Patton trying to find an answer here. Keeps it right up to that wall in Thunder Alley.
Patton barely clear down here into 3 and 4.
Crampton working Scott Patton over. Justin Michael with a good view of it. No threat from behind right now for the 87 from Caleb Bensey or the pole sitter Hunter Engrad. As now it's
look at
Crampton
that.
that's going to go up to the top side and maybe a bit too loose there. Gets drive off, but that was a close call.
He jumped the cushion that time.
Yeah, I think so. But he kept it out of the fence, though. And he didn't bring a banner with him.
Okay.
Here's Crampton. Not too bad there from the inside. I thought Patton was going to be able to surge ahead. Not clear headed into 3. See if Crampton can find ground here on the bottom, or if Patton will ride the roller coaster back out in front. That's exactly what the 46 does.
Yeah, it's going to start getting to that point where if you want to defend, you're going to start running the top side. They can try and shoot you up the inside, but as long as you don't let them get clear, you're going to have the momentum off the corner. Now Crampton trying to get the momentum going in 2 consecutive sides of the racetrack. Haven't seen that too much. They've been flip-flopping lines like crazy the last 5 or 6 laps. Now Crampton going to go back to the bottom.
Trying to hold the center, hold it right down on that yellow line.
He is below the yellow line.
Yeah. That is sketchy. And now it's a table for 3 because here comes reservations from Justin Michael.
And Justin Michael, I'm sure, is loving to see this battle, hoping that they're using up their tires while he's been sitting and waiting. He's going to have a move at second here, maybe. Not quite.
We see this game a lot in Max V on Thursday nights. Or Patton will be leading early. Michael will just rock up on him after Patton has to do some defense or even fend off Justin Michael for a time. And then Michael able to just pick off Patton clean some of the time. But certainly Crampton is working over Patton right now, and that may not bode very well for the 72. And we had the pits closed there under that caution, so nobody was able to come down. So we'll see strategy-wise how a couple caution laps are going to factor in here. I would imagine most of these drivers with a two-stop race not going to be eyeing the fuel number as much as they are going to be just begging for 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, most certainly. And Tommy, if you look a little bit further back from the leaders, there is a pack that has been stuck together. The side-by-side has finally gotten taken care of as Zittel has gotten out in front of Matt Schlosser, but behind them it is still a hornet's nest.
We did just have a little bit of an issue with Nate Siefker and Dale Weiser, though both are able to drive away. But yes, this is a mess from Kyle Zittel on back. Schlosser, Heath Smith, Gavin Sanders, Charlie Widener, Paul Ellison, Zach Flaum, and Will Weiser all on the scene. From 8th down to 15th. All in a bunch. Schlosser and Zittel with a little bit of contact there at a 4 as well.
Schlosser's trying to mount that comeback. He was side by side with Zittel. He's got a huge run here. He's going to take it to the inside. Can he get clear? He does.
Remember what?
Oh,
boy!
no! Wow, Zittel, hell of a save.
Wow. That was an awkward closing right there for Heath Smith as Charlie Widener gets turned and Zach Flaum will as well. Caution is out with Weiser, one of the points front runners involved. And that is caution number 2.
Not too
really
sure.
Caution number 1.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Looks like maybe Flaum and Weiser maybe got the worst of that one, but we'll queue up the replay. The Ellison's on the bottom here. Flaum, good run on the bottom behind Ellison. Widener up top there in the 95. Flaum all the way down on the yellow line. Oh, and Widener tries to split Flaum and Zittel, and Flaum just running his normal line. It's almost impossible to hold it literally all the way on the bottom there. Take a look one more time. Flaum all the way down there, almost on the apron. Yeah, that is... If there's one spot you don't want to be 3 wide, it is certainly coming off of turn 2. And that is exactly what happened. And you see both Weiser and Flaum nose first into the inside wall. That is not what you want to have happen. Although it was lighter than it could have been, it was still a pretty good shot. You see Flaum still trying to get that damage fixed here on pit road.
Flaum's had a rough go of late. That one was a little more of his own doing than previous incidents. So everybody except for Nate Siefker is come down pit road. So we'll be coming to 1 to green here. With Siefker on much older tires, 40-lap older tires. Scott Patton winning the race off pit road. We'll start to his inside. TJ Crampton, Justin Michael on row 2. Hunter Ingrav, Luke Peterson on row 3. Caleb Bensi, Andy Poliski, Matt Schlosser, Heath Smith will be the top 10. Kyle Zittel, a bit of an extended stay on pit road after some contact there with Heath Smith. He's dropped all the way down to 19th. Both Corey and Joshua Rutherford now back on the lead lap, and that should give us everybody, all 26 drivers, still rocking and rolling here. It'll be interesting to see how Siefker can hold it down at the front of the field on much older rubber. He controls the start pretty decent. The full story will be had here as he'll move down to the bottom and cover off Scott Patton. That's going to allow Justin Michael to rocket to the lead. Siefker's teammate TJ Crampton going to put him in the middle of 3 wide, and Crampton bottled up. Patton back to second, Crampton to third, Engrav and Bensi will get through to the top 5, and Siefker going to drop like a rock here at Rockingham.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's going for because it's a track that cautions can happen with a little bit of frequency. We only get 3 sets of tires here. Caution came out before, about 10 to 15 laps before drivers were hoping that it would. They would have liked to have had a little bit of a longer run there, so Siefker's hoping he can get some more a little bit later on.
Say, everybody uses up their tires.
Whoa! Big contact between Weiser and Poliski.
Wow, Andy, that was incredible to keep that out of the wall.
Stacks him up behind him, though, as he was trying to make the save. He just got put in a... Oh, my goodness. Widener and Groover just about turned each other. Man.
Yeah.
Widener's pretty lucky that Groover is a patient driver here. Oh, no! Logan Spath!
Is he going to save it?
No!
Yeah, he's
Almost.
around.
Down on the apron, though. I don't think we're going to throw it.
I think we should be good to stay green here. Race control not going to throw that one.
And that's what happens. You're on 40 laps and you forget what it's like to be on a fresh set of tires, and it comes up and bites some drivers here. Track temperature actually better right now than it was at the start of the race. Only 94 degrees now.
Taking on some interesting characteristics with the rubber being laid down and all that. Track's ever evolving here on iRacing. Scott Patton trying to keep Justin Michael behind him. It's opened up a little bit of a gap than what he had a couple laps ago. Michael over a second clear from TJ Crampton. Bensi Engrav, Schlosser, Peterson, and now Gavin Sanders into the mix as he'll take a lunge to the inside of Luke Peterson and take that spot away. He's up to 7th now. Andy Poliski just got past Will Weiser to move back into the top 10 after their contact a few laps ago. Good recovery from the 32 because that had day ender written all over it.
It certainly did.
And Andy Poliski won his Season 5 Venom Truck Series championship here at Rockingham. We've had 2 truck races, both of the Venom Truck Series, and 2 Daredevil races here at the Rock. John Kay is the only driver to win 1 each.
Will Weiser just got up into the wall a little bit there off of 2. Not a ton of contact, but it all adds up. I'm sure it's not the last time that's going to happen here tonight.
Travis Fleming is running 24th, brings it down pit road. May have made some contact with a wall. We'll see if he's going to rejoin the track or maybe just going for a Hail Mary strategy here. It is lap number 50. Halfway bonus points paid out at the completion of lap 99 for the top 10 drivers.
Poliski a move underneath of Smith. He picks up a spot to 9th.
Oh, problems right in front of the leader. Zach Flaum is parked in the middle of the track, and that will bring out another caution.
And he towed very quickly. I think he may just call it a night after that.
That's never a great feeling. I did the exact same thing in an IndyCar race here with the RAL Schaefer's IndyCar Series. I crashed right in front of the leaders and had to tow from the middle of the track as they were barreling down. That was not a great feeling.
Yeah, immediately comes over the radio and says, "My fault." And he's going to leave us.
He's out for the night, unfortunately. We'll hope to see him back. I would imagine he'll do pretty good next week on the road course, but more on that in a second.
Yeah, this is easy to do. He just gets loose on entry. Still loose, still loose. You see the tires start to turn to the right. He's trying to save this thing. Maybe just stayed in the throttle a little bit too long. And then, of course, very hard here not to snap over steer straight up into the wall. And those are the leaders that you see right down there on the bottom. Does a good job holding the brake, keeping it up there. Leader's able to get through. And we can take one more look. I'd like to see the in-car here. It starts to get loose really early, like right here. See him all. Oh man, wheel has turned way to the right. Sounded like, yeah, I think he stayed in the throttle a little bit too long. If he would have lifted completely a little bit earlier, may have been an easier car to save, but nonetheless, that is the tough task here at Rockingham. And not sure that his wheels were all the way in alignment either, so I'm sure that didn't help.
So as we just mentioned, we hope to see Zach Flaum back and a couple of other road course aficionados next week as Truck 200 is going Dutch. Yeah, we're headed to the Netherlands, Zandvoort, not the full Zandvoort, but I believe it's the international layout. No, it's the national layout with 2 A's because it's Dutch. So we cut a couple of the turns out, a very interesting little shortcut that I think is going to be traumatic for some drivers for the entirety of the race. But very excited for that one. Dakota DeMade has got the sponsorship rights to that one, so we'll see what kind of zany Guga he comes up with next week. But looking forward
with some Guga.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And I'm very excited to hear what it is. But that's next week. We still got plenty of racing to go here tonight. 6 drivers came down under this caution, led by Charlie Widener from inside the top 15. Peter Donchak, Corey Rutherford, Dakota DeMade, Nate Siefker, and Josh Heggie down pit road. Field is still under the control of Scott Patton, who will take the inside here on this restart. We're back underway. Michael Crampton, your top 3, side by side for 4th. Engrav underneath Caleb Bency. Bency might get clear, and Schlosser might have a go to the outside of Engrav to move into the top 5 for the first time tonight.
He's working it. Man, they carry so much speed around this track. It's unbelievable.
Gavin Sanders still here in the mix after starting way deep in this field. Still trying to work over Breach Peterson.
Very excited to see this in real life.
Oh, absolutely. Cannot wait.
Not that I'll be there, but to see it on TV even will be fantastic.
I thought about offering my services for this race because I know the promoter of the weekend. Unfortunately, I've got real life obligations for the weekend. But I'm excited to watch it at home. Deserving of a spot on the Cup Series schedule, let alone Xfinity and Truck. But we'll take what we can get after over a decade of dormancy at this point. Here is Sanders around the outside of Engrav, and Sanders is up to 6. The points leader is on the move. Peterson sends it to the inside of Engrav there, trying to muscle the 77 up the track. He may have just missed his braking zone a bit. Either way, he finds himself on the inside of Engrav. Some of these drivers on fresh tires at the back of the pack are setting personal best laps, so this track continues to improve. And so do these drivers. Very tricky place to get the hang of. Peterson, Poliski, side by side, as they are often on Tuesday nights. Spin Up Truck Series at Las Vegas tomorrow night. 8:15 p.m. Eastern time for that one. Peterson going to maintain the position for now, as Will Weiser and Heath Smith now are creeping up, as Weiser takes a piece of the wall with him down the front stretch. One point as well with Zach Flaum to point out, it doesn't take much to upset the aero balance on this truck, especially at a track like Rockingham.
Oh, Groover up in the wall there. He's going to lose a position or two. Yeah, and I mean, he hit the inside wall pretty decently hard with the left front. I'm wondering if probably had a wheel out of alignment as well, not just aero issues. So I think that was going to be a very tough truck to wrangle for the rest of the night. He had a long ways to go.
You saw Travis Fleming slow on the backstretch. That was just him being courteous. He's finally back on track, 13 laps down. He's got some positions to gain to keep rolling.
Leeski side by side once again. He's trying to make some moves underneath of Siefker. Not going to be able to get it.
Well, this is Siefker moving forward. Remember, he came down after being the only driver to stay out under the last caution.
That's right.
Came down and picked up tires, and this is him rocking his way up into the top 10 for the first time tonight, and he's still going.
I mean, this is exactly what he was hoping for, and he's hoping for a long green flag run here.
He may have set himself up very, very well. Like you mentioned, to get the quick caution is to one thing, to also not be involved in it is another, and he ticked both of those boxes.
And it wasn't too quick of a caution either. If it only happened after 3 or 4 laps, it wouldn't have been that great of an advantage, although it would have been an advantage still. But the fact that they ran like 12 laps or so, and yeah, I mean, that's huge for the two here, and you can see it, him moving forward easily around Schlosser, who's had quite a bit of speed. Now, it'll be interesting to see once he gets up to Sanders how he's able to fare, because he's going to have some laps on his tires.
Sanders is blinking, first of all, but he also about... Yeah, and he reappeared right in front of Siefker. And Sanders was going very slow because he almost nailed the wall out of turn 2. So that was almost very unfortunate there for Siefker, who would have been none the wiser to what just happened.
Yeah, I'm sure Siefker and Sanders are talking with each other in a race chat right now, because Siefker slowed way down. He allowed Schlosser and others to get right up on his tail and about caused a big stack up.
Once Nate Siefker finally made a race in Week 3 at Mid-Ohio, man, he has not looked back. He's looked pretty sporty at times. Hasn't quite got the results to go with it, but man, this is turning into quite the race for Siefker here. Patton up front, pulling away. He's up to 3/4 of a second in front of his teammate Justin Michael. Crampton also gaining some space between Bensey, who is about to have his hands full. And Siefker, I think, rocking a car inside cam tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a couple. A couple of them are pretty far back, unfortunately. With the they had an unfortunate incident happen on the first pseudo caution. Both of the Rutherfords are running car inside cameras here tonight as well. But you see, there is Siefker. So he continues to work his way forward here. He has caught up to Bensi. He's pointing at somebody here. Got the thumbs
Might be pointing
up.
at you.
Might be pointing at me.
So I don't think he's close enough to be waving at Bensi. I don't think Bensi can see him in the rear view quite yet, or at least not his hands.
Siefker's kind of got within 2 or 3 truck lengths of Bensi, but hasn't really been able to get too much closer. He's can be kind of stalled out there for the last 2 or 3 laps. Trying to work the top side and play the momentum game while Bensi is working the bottom, as well as TJ Crampton there in front of them.
It's nice to be off sequence because you feel like Superman coming up through the field, but I feel like it's easier to lose sight of where the long-term goal is. And maybe Siefker's burn him up already, or maybe he's saving. Maybe he knows exactly what he needs to do here. But if you're Siefker and you feel comfortable with how your tires are feeling, do you pit with everybody else and stop the advantage there, or are you gonna try and overcut with the advantage that you've got?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we go green from here on out, I mean, he's really at the bigger advantage right now because he's going to be able to more comfortably go for a one-stop race from where he came down pit road. The other drivers that came down on lap 38, they're probably still looking at a 2-stop race from there, and Siefker's going to have the benefit of maybe having one less pit stop potentially. So there's a lot of different options on the table here. I didn't put in a lot of practice. I didn't put in a long run, so I don't know exactly what the tire fall-off is going to be like should we go caution-free from here on out. But if Siefker can play it smart, he can take one less pit stop than everybody else is what I'm thinking here.
Of your drivers in the top 5 right now, Siefker is the slowest, and the man he's chasing is the quickest, Bensi. Last 3, now we'll see at the line if it's 4 laps in a row. He's been the quickest driver inside the top 5. So Pat and Michael are pretty much running a stalemate here. Crampton is catching Michael. Bensi is keeping Crampton right where he wants him, and he is getting towed nicely along. Further back, still a lot to sort out. Poliski and Weiser battling to stay in the top 10. If you're Poliski anyway. Weiser trying to get back into the top 10, and Heath Smith is right there as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of trucks all together here right in front of them. Sanders back to, I mean, from Sanders back on to, like, Paul Ellison in 14th. They're all pretty strung close together here. Oh, man, Poliski trying to work the wall. He gets into it. Bensi has gotten a little bit closer to Crampton here. He is right on the bumper, just a half a truck length off of the 72 right now.
And Crampton hit a half a second bubble and is stalled out a little bit behind Justin Michael. And now, if he doesn't pick it up here, he might have to contend with Bensi before he can get up to Michael in P2. But either way, 3rd and 4th are faster than 2nd and 1st as they run.
Look at that. Crampton all the way down to cover off the line from the 29. Both of them catching Justin Michael here.
To point out as well, Nate Siefker nearly 2 seconds behind now. He is fading into the clutches of Gavin Sanders.
Yeah, I was wondering if Siefker got up into the top 5 and then just was happy with his current position, was maybe going to try and tire save, but it seems like he's really burned him up, which is not what he wants to see because his advantage is basically gone at that point. I mean, he was able to get some track positioning, but he's got to hang on to it now.
Second, third, and fourth, equidistant, about a truck length between each. Now Bensi pushing the issue a bit, starting to look around here.
Goes to
And
the
Crampton's
bottom.
going to move up the track. Not sure if he's on offense or defense, but either way, Crampton out of line. And nearly into the wall there as well. That was awfully close, but he's got a good run here on Michael. Again, Michael really not running too dissimilar lap times from Scott Patton. They've just got 9/10 of a second between them. But this is certainly going to hurt the cause. As Michael, no doubt about it, one way or another, he's going to be on defense here with the Crampton Bensi chomping at the bit. Remember, halfway bonus points paid at the completion of lap number 99. We're putting 85 on the board right now as Patton has led the most thus far. Here's Crampton, slide in the rear just a bit. He's trying to find some ground underneath. Michael using the middle.
Bensi not really picking one to go with, was behind Crampton for a while. Now he's going to go to the top.
I just had an incident with Logan Spath and Joshua Rutherford, but we're going to stay green. They got under the grass. Crampton trying to stay down low. Michael clears him back around the outside, and Bensi might try and go for a 2-for-1 special here.
Oh, man, it's tight off of two, but he's able to keep the momentum. Michael trying to squeeze him up.
Well, you talk about heroics there. How about that move from Bensi? He will go from fourth to second here on lap 86.
Michael tried
Michael
to put
might
it
lose another.
Yeah, he tried to put it in front of Crampton there, but Crampton, wise to the business, pulls the crossover.
Michael not done. He's still got some real estate underneath here. Crampton might be right where he wants to be. Up a lane down off the top. And Crampton will take third. So Michael back to fourth.
Crampton's been very comfortable there on the top side.
Bensi last time buying clean air. Half a tenth quicker than your race leader. So he's back inside of a second and still continuing to close.
So now we're going to go back to the group behind them once again. Nate Siefker is all nearly backed up all the way to them. And I tell you what, now that Siefker doesn't have a big advantage tire-wise, it kind of opens up the floodgates for any strategy call that you want to make for those leaders. They're not really put into any sort of a box at this point.
Everybody has been down pit road once, so this would be the lap that, in theory, you would have to come down if you hadn't been down pit road already.
Right. I mean, theoretically, they could try to go to like lap 115, 120 or so and be pretty comfortable to the end. And it would be possible for fuel for them to make it that far. That's a long run, though.
Whoa. Andy Poliski headed back up the track weightless. That usually does not end very well. He's able to hang on to it. He's had a couple of close calls up to this point. Sanders trying to make a move on Siefker. Schlosser nearly made him pay for it. Now Schlosser having to get back in line to conserve some momentum.
Yeah, Sanders went to the top there and got right by Schlosser. He used that momentum to perfection. And Schlosser going to go back to the bottom here. A little bit surprised to see that.
Joshua Rutherford just had a big hit to the wall, and he is going to try and limp this truck back to pit road.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Smith up into the wall. Got stacked up behind Weitzer. Oh, and
now Weiser's into the wall.
And Siefker now under fire from Gavin Sanders and Matt Schlosser.
Ooh, Sanders had to roll out of it just a bit to keep it out of the quarter panel. Nearly buried it into the side of Nate Siefker there. And here's Schlosser again, looking to the outside.
Hunter Engrav sitting here in the 77, always looking to save tire. How much does he have left?
Sanders loose there, getting pinned underneath the 400, and Schlosser not quite clear. But But he might get clear here down Thunder Alley. Sanders washes up off the bottom. Moves Schlosser up to 6th. Next up would be Siefker. Sanders now going to have to fend off Engrav. Meanwhile, up front, lead is down to almost a quarter of a second now. Bensy tracking down Scott Patton. Keep our eyes on that as this gaggle still has a lot to sort out.
Yeah, they're not going to be done sorting out until the pit stops come as, whoa, Sanders. Oh, no, one around behind.
That is Travis Fleming. I think he made contact there with Heath Smith, and that will bring out caution number 4 at a very interesting time. And yeah, you can tell from Joshua Rutherford's comment there in the chat, this truck is just getting harder and harder to drive.
Yeah, this is gonna put things interesting to the bonus point payout. We may be going green on lap 99, so they're gonna race it out on lap 1 of the restart, potentially for the bonus points. We'll have to figure that out. Let's take a look at the replay.
And that will be what happens. We do not move the halfway bonus point mark.
Oh boy, and Fleming gets up into the wall all by his lonesome. I don't think Heath Smith realized that he got into the wall and was slow. Smith was working his way up the racetrack to try and carry some momentum and got right into the back of the 26. Spooky times here at Rockingham.
Very scary.
That is going to bring quite literally everybody down pit road.
As it should. It'll be a one-lap dash for some bonus points here. Pat wins the race off pit road. Bensy. We'll see. I think he'll line up to the outside of Scott Patton. As Patton's taking the inside here on every restart he's been in control of. Crampton and Michael will be out on row 2. It'll be Schlosser and Nate Siefker. Big net gain for the two. You know, he faded there late, but he's still in the top 6 here on this restart now. Even keel with the rest of the field. Engrav, Sanders, Poliski, and Ellison going to be the top 10 here coming to the restart on lap 99. Remember, it's the completion of this lap. And it's only for 10 bonus points, you know. So you don't need to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, we've seen that one play out before.
Yeah, don't ask Heath Smith about that. We're underway. Technically, somewhere right about here we'll be halfway home. We can't pay it out until we get to the line as there's one loose. It's Dale Weiser. We're back under caution as Weiser is going to park in the middle of the track. More problems. Charlie Widener. Ooh.
Man.
And Rutherford got a piece of that one as well. That was Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua's had a tough night. He was already a few laps down.
Yeah.
And that might set him back a few more.
So there's going to be the initial incident with Dale Weiser. I'm not sure how it gets started. But then Charlie Widener, I think, is an unrelated, I guess not completely unrelated, but is a different incident.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay. Weiser starting to the outside of Smith here. See if we can figure out what happens to the 3-0. I'm thinking he might just get loose on his own. We talked about restarts being tough on cold tires. That's exactly what happens. right in the middle of the corner, trying to put power down. Completely sideways, right in front of Kyle Zittel, who gets into the back of him. Somehow, Groover miraculously gets underneath, as does Charlie Widener. The problem for Widener comes with Dakota DeMade trying to barrel through before Weiser comes back down the racetrack, and the 82 gets into the back of the 95. Gets him loose. He's trying to hang on to it. And Rutherford gives him a nice little pat on the ass there on his way by. So good job for keeping it out of the wall, bud.
Yeah. Dirt tracking is a lot more fun when you got dirt on the track. Just a good rule of thumb. So extended visits to pit road for Joshua Rutherford, Charlie Widener, and Dale Weiser. The other Rutherford, Corey Rutherford, will be back on the lead lap here. He'll take the lucky dog. Scott Patton gets himself 10 bonus points as well. Of course, there's one provisional, but Patton has missed 2 races, so he'll take any bonus points he can get. He's still in a decent position points-wise, pretty tight to the cut line, but he's still here. And he's done quite a nice job here tonight as well. But now we're in the back half of the race officially. It's going to end up being a decently long race. Probably going to make it at least an hour and a half, if not more, with 197 laps here tonight. Patton and Bensey on the front row. Patton now going to take the outside. Crampton Michael on row 2. Schlosser and Siefker still on row 3. Engrav, Sanders, Poliski, and Ellison, the top 10. Back to it. A little bit of stacking up here on the inside. Should get it sorted out by turn 1. As Michael covers off Bensey here to take second. Side by side behind them, it's Crampton on the inside, Siefker on the outside. Nearly 3 wide, further back.
Sanders going to take a look to the inside of Schlosser as Crampton continues to stick it underneath of Nate Siefker. Oh, Siefker
into the
hard
wall.
into the wall.
That was a hard shot.
Oh, and Schlosser.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
I don't know how Schlosser held on to that one.
I don't know
Sanders
how.
did not have much of an option there.
No, he did not. That was some discipline by the 99.
Yeah.
Also,
think,
probably a few curse words into the radio.
Yeah. Everybody gets one, and Schlosser has plenty of goodwill to spend in this league. But
True.
I think that's one burned up right there. He is driving away from Sanders now. Did get a piece of the wall there out of 4. Meanwhile, Bensey had a peek there to the inside of Justin Michael, but couldn't make anything happen. Michael now fading a bit away from Scott Patton, already 3/4 of a second behind his teammate.
Let's set the stage for you here for the rest of the race. We're over halfway at this point. At the time when that caution came out, oh man, 3 wide to 1. Wow, that was almost disaster.
And that's Engrav putting on the parachute, or sticking out the parachute there to not wreck Ellison and Weiser, as Weiser made the dive bomb. But anyway.
But yeah, at the point when the caution came out, they are not good on fuel to the end, so nobody even has the option to try and stretch the tires as far as they want to. Everybody is going to have to come down pit road at some point. Most drivers probably eyeing right around lap 146 to 150 or so for the pit stops, I would guess. So it's basically a couple of, I wouldn't call them sprints, I suppose, but they're not real long runs either.
And that should be everybody's last set of tires in the pits right now. And nobody's Siefker pulled the fast one earlier, but now he's back even keel with everybody else.
Yeah, not really any options. It's all about getting on and off of pit road, the speed that you can carry, and then what kind of pace you got on the racetrack. There's not a whole lot of differing strategies here other than when you come in pit road. Unless, of course, we get a caution to come out. Then that could change things.
Michael, Bensey, Crampton, Siefker, Schlosser, and almost Sanders. Nose to tail, pretty much. Poliski, Weiser, Ellison pulling up onto the scene here as well. Michael leading a Talladega train here around Rockingham, but he is 2 seconds behind Scott Patton. I mean, Scoot is scooted away up front. He hasn't really got a whole lot of airtime here tonight, save for the restarts.
I'll give him a little bit here. How about that?
There you go.
Painted a lovely truck just for tonight on short notice and haven't even really gotten to show it on the broadcast a whole lot.
I hope my sister isn't watching. That's a creepy one. Not a clown fan.
Neither am I. But here we are.
Here we are.
Welcome to the circus.
Hello to Don Golden in the chat. Better late than never. Well, it's been not quite the night that the Rutherfords have been hoping for, but Corey got back on the lead lap under the last caution. He's now into the top 15, so he's making it work. Siefker trying to get underneath his teammate, TJ Crampton. Will Weiser now, as Sanders starting to fade away. Weiser really sends it in deep into turn number 1. Slides up in front of Sanders and is going to be able to hold on to that spot. So Weiser up to 7th. About as high as we've seen him tonight. Just as that happens, Dale Weiser has decided to call it a night with the damage that he got under the last caution.
Heated battle further back. Peterson and Zittel going at it. Oh, as Logan Spath is around again.
And this time right in the middle of the track.
Man. Now
well.
has gotten interesting.
Other party involved there was Joshua Hagee.
Now you have options.
Yes, you do.
We went from that point on green. There were no options. Now you have options.
Are they options you like, though? That's the real question.
We're going to figure it out here in a moment. Logan Spath holding it down on the bottom. Just doesn't get a great drive off and gets some help from Heggie here. I believe. A little too close to call there, to be honest. Looked like Spath was struggling with some grip there. Yeah, that's definitely a helping hand.
I definitely think so, and race control would tend to agree as Hagee's headed to the back of the line here.
Boy, has this gotten interesting.
Some stayers, some goers.
We're going to go to the live shot as
your race leader, your top 2 are in, and only two other drivers from the top 10 came in with him. So 60% of the top 10 stay out. Lead is now owned by Bensey, Crampton, Siefker, Schlosser, Weiser. That's Weiser, the top 5. Sanders, DeMade, Groover, Engrav, Widener now will be the top 10. Patton will come out at 11th. And there's our only two-time Rockingham winner on the channel, Mr. JK Gaming.
Be a lot more fun if you were on the racetrack there, John.
I say we let him, we turn him loose on a 79 here and see if he can make up the laps. You'll only be 118 down. The full list of folks that just came down to pit: Patton, Michael, Poliski, Ellison, Peterson, Zittel, Corey Rutherford. Of course, Heggie will have the penalty. He's going to the tail anyway. Peter Donchak, Cole Maxwell, Heath Smith, Logan Spath. Bensy in control. He'll take the inside. Crampton, Siefker, Schlosser, Will Weiser, and Gavin Sanders are the top six.
Will this be the final green flag of the race?
No.
There's a lot of drivers that hope so.
Yes. I can name you about 15. Betsy and Crampton up front. We'll see how this one's going to shake out. Coming off the sixth caution of the night. Old tires up front. Crampton going to fend off Siefker for second. Schlosser gets the door shut on him. And Crampton's got a run here on Bensy. TJ to the inside. Big run now from Siefker.
Yeah, Siefker had a run. He really didn't have anywhere to go with it, though. He's going to put it to Bensy, but man, that was close. Now Schlosser trying to sneak underneath the Siefker. Oh, my goodness.
Wow, it is getting tough up here, and now it's trouble. Schlosser around into Weiser. Oh, and that is a huge shot. That was Scott Patton. Widener, Peterson, Logan Spath, more problems there. Oh, boy, that was ugly.
Wow.
We saw something very similar to that in the Venom Truck Series race here last season. Contact coming off of turn number 2, right when this truck gets the lightest it is at any point in the lap. And, of course, it might as well be a funnel on the backstretch. There is nowhere to go.
Wow, the switch certainly got flipped there. I mean, that was way more aggressive than we've seen at all here tonight so far.
And the dominator of this race is going to be out. Patton. I mean, that truck is demolished. I'm surprised it's even rolling.
Let's take a look. They're stacked up. Crampton, Bensy. Hope we can get a good angle here. That's a little bit better. Schlosser gets tucked right up underneath of Siefker. And then Schlosser gets tagged, I think tagged from behind by Weiser. It's kind of hard to tell there.
That was Weiser, yes. And he definitely had help.
Yeah, just a weird spot to be in as Schlosser's trying to push Siefker down. And yeah, Weiser swipes right across the tailgate of the 400.
Well, Weiser has a bit of a run there, and Siefker and Schlosser both have to check up as the leaders are side by side in front. So Weiser with a lot of momentum and nowhere to take it.
Yeah, certainly don't blame him for trying to get to the bottom there. It was just too late. Oh, man, there's the big shot for Patton. He just about got through, too.
That's got to be disheartening for Patton, who had this race absolutely on lock.
Really big shot for Charlie Widener as well. And, of course, Schlosser, he pounded the wall, and Patton all at the same time. So, quite a few, I shouldn't say quite a few folks still staying out here. Problem is, you don't have as many trucks in between you and the fresh tires now. You only have one buffer row if you're on the front row, and that is not much.
Yeah, Bensy, Siefker, Sanders, and DeMade. That's your top 4, and then it's Justin Michael and now Andy Poliski on the next row. But we'll see what's Some of our open wheelers are cooking up here. That's the top four, all holding it down up front with the fenders on. And 2 certified truckers right behind him. Bensy back on the gas. One heat cycle for our fresh tire runners. DeMade gets swallowed up here in a hurry. Michael up to 4th. Sanders up to 2nd. It's as high as we've seen him today.
Justin Michael is likely going to rocket around to everybody here.
But with another caution, the shoe will be on the other foot, and Michael will be the one that will have to play defense late in the going. The problem is you're not, despite what we just saw, you're not guaranteed another caution.
No, and there's also far less trucks in the field now as well. I mean, we got rid. Oh, Seeker up into the wall. We got rid of 2 or 3, maybe even 4 there in the last caution. So. Man, both the Seeker's right side tires came off the ground when he hit the wall there.
Yeah, that was a big hit. Still holds the position in front of Dakota DeMade, and Andy Poliski as well, not able to take advantage of the situation. So Bensy leading narrowly over Sanders, and even more narrowly, Sanders' lead over Justin Michael. Quite precarious right now. Michael on the fresher tires. These two battled for the win last week at Michigan. Now they're fighting for 2nd.
A little surprised that Poliski has not been able to get around those 2 in front of him easier, but he might be trying to save a little bit here. Now he's going to dive underneath.
Ooh, that was close.
They're going to start pushing the limits of corner exit, and it's not going to get any nicer. Look at that. Crossover move from DeMade all the way to the top, down to the bottom underneath the Seifker. Fresh tires behind the 2 of them with nowhere to go. Now it's Seifker who's going to have the momentum off the top side.
Oh, Dakota. A little bit slower there on the bottom. Even with the big run there from Seifker. Poliski getting bottled up now might allow Paul Ellison to take advantage.
Heath Smith right there with those 2 on the same tire strategy as well.
This one truck has gotten battered tonight, and it's still rolling. And inside the top 10 at that. The guy with the freshest tires, only by a couple laps, but it's TJ Crampton. He's up to 9th. And he has been awfully, awfully fast.
I was going to say, don't forget how much speed he had when he was up towards the front of the field. The speed hasn't disappeared, but it is going to be a little bit more difficult to keep it going with the amount of traffic he has in front of them, as Poliski and DeMade nearly made contact on entry into 3 there. There's Hunter Leach in the chat watching the good battles rage on here. Oh, Seifker up into the wall. DeMade's going to get through. Now Poliski's going to look underneath. And Seifker cannot stay off of that. Wow. Things are getting dicey.
Are you surprised that Bensy's been fended off Justin Michael as well as he has thus far? I mean, he's not quite pulling away from him, but
Not necessarily. I don't know if Justin Michael's really pushing it too hard at this point. I mean, I'm sure he knows that should a caution come out, he's going to be at a disadvantage. So I'm sure he's trying to save as much tire as he can. He knows he's going to get the clean air eventually. Probably doesn't want to burn it up early. I don't blame him for trying to sit back. Not saying that Bensie's not running quick laps either, but I don't think Justin Michael's necessarily in a big hurry at this point.
Stereo passing opportunities for the Venom boys on the open wheelers. One of them will be a success. One of them is not as of yet. Ellison through on Siefker. Poliski still working on DeMade for a spot. Or rather, for P4 is DeMade right there on the corner panel of Charlie Widener.
And Heath Smith nearly got up into Siefker and pushed him up into the wall. Smith is going to get through. Crampton would be next. And Poliski going to pull a slider right up in front of the 82, and he should have it.
So Poliski back into the top 5. We'll see if he can catch Gavin Sanders. About a second and a quarter up the road. Ellison going to try and follow his VTS brethren now into the top 5.
By the way, Corey Rutherford's into the top 10 now. It's taken him a while to get there, but he has finally found his way.
Ellison almost got that win last week. If it weren't for that pesky Ryan Dye and his dastardly team owner, he would have had himself victory number, I believe, 4 in the Venom Truck Series.
Well, if it wasn't for the team of the driver right in front of Ellison, neither of them would have had a chance.
That is also true. So good recovery so far from Andy Poliski, who had nothing to do with what happened in front of him. And Sanders, he is catching him just little by little here. A 10th here and a 10th there. But he's caught him to 0.8 of a second.
Mentioned Corey Rutherford a moment ago. He's now inside of Nate Siefker looking for 9th. Oh, no!
Oh, boy. Well, that was going to be a great recovery for Corey Rutherford, but it has come to a crashing halt here. As he and Siefker hit the inside wall, and that is that caution number 8?
It is real. I mean,
8 or 9.
It is 8, technically kind of caution 7.
Well, yeah. Either way, the long night is not over for Corey Rutherford, and now work to be done for Nate Siefker here as well. We don't have a whole lot of trucks left running. I think we've got 18 on the battlefield.
And what also really sucks for the other party involved there, Siefker, is this, had he not been in the incident, would have been a great opportunity for him to come down and get fresh tires and really be in a good spot. But now he also has damage to get fixed. Let's take a look. Kind of see this one coming when they were coming off of turn 2. Kind of hard to tell where it starts. I think Siefker kind of gets up into the wall. And then I think Rutherford thought he was going to get up into Siefker, so he kind of yanks the wheel down to the left and gets himself loose. See Siefker attached to the wall. Rutherford can hear him on the wall. Rutherford gets himself loose, overcorrects back up to the right, while Siefker is trying to pull himself off the wall. I mean, that was just bad circumstances all coming together there.
That was a zig into a zag.
That is the definition of zig into a zag. I mean, they never made contact with each other before both of them either got loose or were trying to pull themselves off the wall. They kind of both made mistakes on their own and then compounded them right in the middle of the racetrack.
So we've got a couple holdouts yet. Dakota DeMade and Peter Donchak have stayed out. I'm not too sure. Brandon Groover didn't come down pit road and then take 2 tires or fuel only, because he is out first, which puts him in third here for this restart. And Caleb Bency now will be on the outside of row number 2. Justin Michael, Gavin Sanders on row 3. And it's interesting that Justin Michael came in again. Maybe just to make sure he's got enough fuel, or maybe he saved a set of lefts. I have no idea. Either way, older tires up front, the top 3. Going to be struggling here. Bency already looking as Michael and Sanders having to try and juke and jive around the 41 of Groover.
Bency going to go straight to the lead. Michael's going to put it 3 wide. Oh, man,
Wow.
nearly turns Bency.
Oh, Michael is loose. And he's going to bring it down pit road. Oh, my goodness. What a mess. As there's another one around. It's Andy Poliski, and the caution is back out. What a mess.
So we will go back and take a look. We'll first look at Justin Michael. So Michael's trying to put it up the middle. And then he's going to try and tuck right in behind Bency. When he tries to tuck in, that's when the truck gets loose. And Tommy mentioned it, right down on the pit road. He keeps it out of the wall, though, which is very important. And then, while that's happening, Andy Poliski, basically does the exact same thing as Justin Michael. He just doesn't keep his foot in it quite as much. And he just gets himself super loose. He actually spins it out to keep himself out of the wall. Everybody does a good job of, avoiding. Wow, that was close. But, Poliski, that was really heads up by Poliski. He knew he was going to be up into the wall, so he just cranks the wheel and hammers the throttle to try and keep it out of the wall, and he accomplishes that goal. So, that was pretty spectacular by the 32 there, albeit he did put himself in some danger in front of the field.
Well, this is quite the inside of 50 lap to go dash to the finish here.
Yeah, well, you also have one driver that has yet to come down pit road. Dakota DeMade is employing the ultimate strategy here. And at this point, we've had so many cautions, I do not blame him.
Bency firing off. We're back underway. Good getaway for him.
You just have to be aware of the situation the 82 is in, as there's one in the wall behind them.
I think that was Cole Maxwell. First time we've called his name out tonight.
TJ Crampton, Justin Michael battling it out. They were battling for the lead earlier in the race. Now they're battling it out for 8th. Both
My God, Cole Maxwell upside down on the backstretch, and that is going to be a caution. That's
wow.
Oh boy, that was Nate Siefker there with the contact, and that was not great.
I kind of missed that one live. We were watching the battle up in front of them. James Lehman joined us at a good time there. Well, let's take a look. Oh, and Siefker gets loose. Man, we have seen this so many times here as of late. Drivers are really trying to start to push the issue on corner exit, and they are experiencing ill-handling trucks. Siefker gets it loose on the bottom, overcorrects right up into the 6. And Cole is going to slide with the left side of his head facing the asphalt for a long time here.
Well,
Boy,
he got the
Corey Rutherford chased it all the way down to the low side wall, thinking that he's going to be able to get through, and very narrowly does.
Well, he got the Carl Long experience saved for a couple of barrel rolls, but just when you think you can't get upside down at Rockingham, there you go. Just to say it's the last time either.
Check out this slide. I mean, you get a much better view of the track and the conditions doing this than you do doing a track walk, I think. And technically, never gets upside down.
Now that is true. From a technical standpoint, that wouldn't count on the flip count at the Chili Bowl. We'll put it that way.
No, it would not.
But also, he would have bit and hooked into the dirt, so you know what I'm saying. That will be a drive-through penalty for Nate Siefker, because that is his second cause caution of the event.
Man, thanks for... Right there in the middle of the race, things were looking really good for Nate Siefker, and they have just gone downhill since then.
Kevin Bensey in control. Gavin Sanders, Paul Ellison, Kyle Zittel, and Heath Smith now the top 5.
And Dakota DeMade still did not come down pit road.
No, he did not.
He is really, really going for that long game strategy. And I don't blame him. At this point, why not? Somebody was going to try it. Might as well be him.
How about the decent one up to P3?
Oh, boy. Hunter Ingram, Justin Michael getting after it here. Michael around the outside. Oh, decent one in the wall. Paul Ellison going to go, well, not quite through on the bottom, but he's going to take a shot at it. Ooh, man, look at how loose they are. Justin Michael and Kyle Zittel really loose off the top side there.
Here's Michael with a look down to the inside, moves it down low on Zittel.
Will he be able to slide up in front? Doesn't look like it. Wow, that's tight.
Wow. That was close. So Michael, like a house of on fire here, up to third.
Andy Poliski side by side with Hunter Ingrab. He's going to go around the outside. Brandon Groover looking to do the same. And he does. So Ingrab back to 10th now.
Elson muscles underneath of Zittel, looking for fourth. Teammates duking it out here inside the top 5. Here's Justin Michael now with a look to the inside of Sanders.
Nelson going to get clear of the 53. Michael still battling Sanders.
And I think Michael's going to get clear by about a foot
look at
or
that turn
less. And Sanders going to cross him up, but Michael now going to be on the top side, looking for the race lead. Bensie's going to have to fight for this one. Bensie might not put up much of a fight, as though Michael is going to door him. Bensie going to try and hang on this right rear quarter panel and pull himself back into the fight with some side draft. Michael sends it on the bottom.
Bensie backs the corner up, goes for the big crossover there.
These two duking it out up front. The two
Whoa,
winningest drivers
man.
in series history not going away. The reigning champ fades to second as Justin Michael around the outside looking for a two-peat. Takes the lead late in the going.
Does Bensie have the tires? Does he have the pace to mount the comeback here? Oh, Justin Michael in the wall. Bensie going to have an opportunity.
From the lead, a mistake, and a rare one at that for Justin Michael. Bensie trying to fight back.
Not able to clear, but
Lap traffic ahead, going to duck down low. We stay side by side for the lead.
wow, Justin Michael might just hang on to it. It was looking like Bensie was going to fly by him. It was heavy contact with the wall. Still not settled.
I think this 87 truck is a bit hampered, that's for sure. Doing everything he can here to get clear of Caleb Bensie. Bensie having to work hard, but maybe not. Going to have an opportunity again. Just to Michael clear.
Bensie hanging just a couple feet off of the back of the 87, maybe trying to loosen him up a bit. John Kay's rooting for Paul Ellison, who is in
He's
the
closing.
picture here. He sure is.
Top four going to be just about nose to tail here, as Michael's not been able to get away from Bensie. And Papa Paul pushing it into the mix. Heath Smith not too far behind either. They're both on the move forward. All of your top 4 know what it takes to win in Truck 200. They've all done it before. And in fact, your 3 winningest drivers in series history run 1, 2, 3. Laps are winding down. Betsy might go back on the attack here. Looks to the inside of Michael, who's going to go up top for some momentum.
And it's so tough to make the inside stick at this point in a run.
Elson got in a little bit hot there, but you could tell he's got the pace on these 3. You just got to find a way around.
This is a tough track to make that happen quickly. And he also has Heath Smith in tow, so he might have to worry about some pressure from behind here.
Yeah, Michael is backing this pack up, and all together, really all the way back to TJ Crampton in 8th, are now in touch with the leaders.
There's one driver out there hoping that they all come together.
Yeah, Dakota Tomei back at 14th. It might happen. These guys are going to be duking it out here. I mean, this is remarkable for this point of the race. All the varying strategies converging here. Even with the amount of cautions that we have multiple different tire life stints. Michael trying to hold it down with a little bit of right side damage. Bensey, Sanders, Ellison, Smith, your top 5. They're all right here. This is why you love the Rock.
Right in the back of this pack, Crampton's moved it to the top side, trying to make a move on Andy Poliski. And he's going to get clear. And Kyle Zittle's going to be up next for him to try and overtake. Crampton's been loving this top side. He's running a lot here tonight. He's going to get the momentum and pick off another one.
Can't tell if Justin Michael is looking tight off or if that's just the line he's running out of turn number 2. Maybe that is the difference. That might be what's keeping Bensey in the fight here.
Oh, Crampton in the wall.
And with help from Heath Smith there.
Crampton is going to move up to 5th eventually here.
Yeah, Smith
Wow,
gave
look at
him
that run.
position.
Bensey right through the middle of the corner had a huge surge.
Yeah,
He's
Bensey
trying different things here.
Bensey not going away.
It may look like the same line, but he is backing up entry. He's diving it further. He is trying some things to see what he can make happen.
Held it a little bit lower there longer, and that may not have been the play. That's the most space we've seen between the top 2 here in a couple laps. Michael keeping it right down to the yellow all the way through. Elson's advantage may have faded here just a bit.
Whoa. Slide of the rears there for Bensey. Better, cleaner exit for Michael.
Crampton onto the scene. He's going to try and start to make some moves. Maybe a couple laps too late for the win. But we'll see how quickly he can start to pick them off here. Here's Ellison, first up. No problem out of 4. Crampton talked about wanting to mend some fences and race respectfully with Caleb Bensey. That may be out the window here if he gets an opportunity. He's
got the speed right now.
See if he hits the same wall that Paul Ellison hit, catching Gavin Sanders. Sanders starting to fade away from the top two now.
And
Still some space.
Crampton's been the only one willing to go to the top side out of the top 5 here. Everybody else is stuck to that bottom line. We'll see
the
what
lap
the
times.
Yeah, we'll see what the 72 elects to do here.
Time is running out if he wants to make a play for the win. At the line, Crampton is the fastest of the top 5, but you got to make the passes here.
And
Sanders way down on the apron, and that is going to open it up. Sanders may be able to pin him down here for another lap or two, sticking to this top side.
Sanders might get clear here. He appeared to be for a moment, but didn't pull down, and now he's going to pay for it.
Crampton up to third.
Now Crampton going to move up a little bit.
Trying to regain some momentum here and reel in Bensi. Bensi, a truck length and a half, make it 2 now behind Justin Michael. He's starting to fade a bit. Either that or saving up for one more push.
Crampton is edging closer here, but
got a little low there.
Yeah, he lost some time there on exit.
10 to go with the stripe. Crampton closing. Bensi now reeling him in once again as well. Justin Michael got to be feeling that seat getting a little bit warmer. Bensi had a peek. Michael shuts the door. This is exactly what Crampton wants to see. If these two are going to start to go at it, Bensi has a run. He'll take it down low. Up the track just a bit. Try and side draft to get good drive off of turn number 4.
Wow, look at this.
Crampton looking on as Bensi and Michael nearly touching doors.
That line is great for Bensi through 1 and 2, but it's not quite as good for him through 3 and 4. It's a good one this time, though.
Michael struggling on the top side in 3 and 4. They're coming up on the slower
Crampton
truck.
might squeeze underneath.
Side by side, down the back stretch. Bensi lying in wait. He's running out of opportunities with faster trucks approaching behind. Slow traffic ahead. Boy, it's a dead heat at the line. DeMade gets out of the way. Crampton chomping at the bit. If he can find a way.
These two up front are leaving a lane down there in turns 1 and 2. Crampton could really stuff it in there if he really wanted to.
Sanders and Ellison duking it out for 4th. If it all goes bottoms up, that might be for the win. Michael edging ahead. Can he shut the door? Not quite. More slow traffic. Bensi hanging right with him.
Woohoo!
Crampton up top.
Crampton!
Sails it up top. Rolls out of it to not get punted into the wall.
Wow.
But he's ready to go.
That was a heck of a move. Did not see that one coming.
It's going to work better here, I think. Right back up to the wall in 3 and 4. Might get better drive off. Look at this. From the wall, he's going to try and push Caleb Bensi ahead. 4 laps to go.
He's running out of options. He's getting a little desperate. He's going to try it again.
Up to the top side. Right up against the wall.
He's outside of Michael. He's going to get it.
Michael back to third. Crampton up top. Bensey gets the lead. Will he have it for less than a lap before Crampton clears him?
Whoa!
TJ Crampton takes the lead down Thunder Alley.
Wow,
What a
Crampton
move.
he had been saving that one for a long time. We
You
thought
talk
he was going
about-
to try and sneak down in the bottom, and then all of a sudden he shot the top.
2 laps to go. It's not over yet. And we still got to see the white flag before Crampton could do any celebrated. TJ staying on the top side. Bensey sticking it down low, hoping for any mistake from the 72. It may be hard to come by.
I
Michael,
like
a
that.
distant memory.
I like the top line defense for Crampton should he need it.
Oh, Bensey digging hard. Nearly scrapes the wall out of turn 4. 1 to go. This is it. Can Bensey find anything? Anything at all?
Bensey going to try and find the momentum off of 2.
Bensey driving hard, trying to lay back here and get a big drive off. It's not going to be enough, though. TJ Crampton, lying in wait, is going to steal the win at Rockingham.
Wow.
Absolute masterclass from Crampton from way downtown on the long green flag run to the checkers. Crampton takes his first win of the season, his second of his career with Truck 200. Fantastic stuff tonight at Rockingham. 4 races a year here, minimum. Please, I beg you.
How about that finish, folks? Put a
Hot
thumbs
damn.
Up. Put a thumbs up in the chat for that. That was something else.
Crampton going to walk this bad boy all the way around, I'm sure. It's a little bit less than a mile if you're all the way down there. That was awesome. I mean, Truck 200 has had its moments here and there. It's usually just great drivers pulling away from the field, but I don't know if we've had a battle like that for the win. That was fantastic. Michael will hang on for a podium. He fell away hard there at the end, but still finishes ahead of Gavin Sanders. Paul Ellison with the top 5 here tonight. But the story of the night for sure, TJ Crampton back from his 2-week excursion at the Chili Bowl and pulls it straight. Well, he didn't quite make it to victory lane, but he's at the start-finish line there anyway. Why don't we take a look at that final pass for the lead, or a couple of laps of battling there, because there's a lot to digest in that.
Yeah, certainly. We'll back it up a little bit further because, I mean, we're not going to get to watch the whole thing. We'd be here for another 20 minutes because they were battling hard for a long time. But, I mean, this tells a story through turns 1 and 2. Bensey and Michael battling hard amongst each other. Bensey sitting back here waiting, trying to find his spot. Sails it to the top. And all he needed to do was get to the outside of Michael, and he does. Michael has nowhere to go on exit, and he's got way more momentum than Caleb Bensey. Takes him another half a lap to get it completed. Uses the top side again through turns 1 and 2. Finally gets himself clear, and that was the move for the win. And, I mean, really, TJ had been setting that up all night. He was running that top side very, very early on in this race when everybody else was running the bottom. I mean, he had been practicing that time and time again throughout the night, and it really came in handy there at the end. I don't think even he knew how handy it would come in.
Yeah, it's going to pay off to the tune of $10 for him. Congrats to TJ. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to Caleb Bensey. We'll talk to Justin Michael here first up on the train in just a second. How about Gavin Sanders? He'll be your hard charger tonight, plus 16, and the points leader will stick it in the top 5 once more. Paul Ellison, a handy run here tonight. We'll take a top 5. Andy Poliski in 6. Brandon Groover goes plus 7 to finish in 7th. Kyle Zittel, Heath Smith, Charlie Widener charging Charlie up 6 spots tonight to finish in 10th. Corey Rutherford, after his very, very eventful night, is going to finish in P11. That's a Truck 200 best for him. Congrats to him. Hunter Engrav, the last driver on the lead lap, in 12th. Peter Donchak will finish in 13th. Dakota DeMay did have to come down pit road eventually there and just hung on one too many cautions and is going to finish 2 laps down in 14th. Matt Schlosser is going to be the last driver running in 15th, 3 laps down after he had to come serve a penalty. Joshua Rutherford then DNF in 16th. Cole Maxwell, Nate Siefker, Josh Heggie, and Logan Spath in 20th. We talk about the great racing up front here. This was Scott Patton's race to win here tonight, and he was taken out by something not of his own doing. He's going to be incredibly disappointed there. 75 laps down in 21st. Luke Peterson likewise in 22nd. Will Weiser, Dale Weiser, 23rd, 24th. Travis Fleming, and Zach Flaum, your 26th and final finisher here tonight. So we'll kick off the interview train here tonight in booth 200 with Justin Michael, who's going to lead a lot of laps here tonight, and we'll finish on the podium. But it slips away from you there late with some crazy moves being made here in the final stretch at Rockingham. Congrats on the podium.
I appreciate it. I got loose there off of 4, and I had to lock it down to not hit anything. And we went through pit road, and I destroyed my right front doing that. And then I drove through the field, and that destroyed it even more. I didn't have anything for him at the end. I think if I wouldn't have did those 2 things, I think I'd have been solid. I think I might have stayed up there. But man, TJ was fast at the end.
I mean, challenging conditions here tonight. I mean, it's the Rock. It's going to be an exacting circuit for sure. But I mean, to see somebody that just won last week have a self spin early in the going after a restart. I mean, it looked difficult out there.
It did. I'm pretty sure I hit some marbles down there because I know they recently changed that stuff. And this is only I think the 3rd time I've ran this track in this sim. So I'm pretty sure I got some marbles there going when I touched the apron. And yeah, it's my fault. It's a rookie move.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a great finish. Putting on a hell of a show for us here tonight. I mean, you had been battling Caleb there at the end for a long time. And then all of a sudden you kind of have to divert your attention a little bit to the 72 who is putting the pressure on. I mean, how difficult of a situation is that to think that you're going to have to battle one person to the end and all of a sudden somebody else is right up behind you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard. Scott was helping me a lot, kind of walking me through because he was fast. I know he got in a wreck, but he was definitely faster, and he was walking me through the entire run, trying to get me to do different stuff and be faster. And it was really helping. And then it caught my eye that 3rd place changed up on my other screen. And then I told him, I was like, hey, we have a problem. It's like that 72's coming. He said, no, he's fine. He ain't going to catch you guys. And next thing I know, he's up top going 3 wide. So, but yeah, I just had no momentum there that one time. And it was either back out or wrecking. So I was just like, 3rd place is great here. So I'm good with it.
Yeah, great recovery and a hell of a show as well. So nothing to sneeze at here tonight with the podium. Congrats. Shout-outs for you.
Yeah, hopefully that was a good you got some good TV time there with
Definitely.
Me driving through the field. But yeah, just Scott out there, man. Like I said, good teammate, and he really helped me there at the end, and also painting the awesome truck that I have there and all the Bandit guys. And you guys calling a great race, so probably go back and watch it. So we appreciate you. We'll see you guys next week at the Netherlands.
Zandvoort. Yep.
Yeah.
Going Dutch.
I've ran that track once. That should be fun.
It's definitely going to be interesting, but we're looking forward to that. Great show here tonight. Congrats on the podium. We'll hopefully talk to you again next week.
Thanks, guys.
Well, he just popped into the waiting room. We'll go ahead and pull up Caleb Bensey. He will finish runner-up here tonight. And a wild closing sequence there. You go from second to first, right back to second there in the span of a lap's time. That was quite the whiplash there at the end of this one.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a bit frustrating, but yeah, I mean, long run pace was pretty good, and trying to hold on to the front right tire basically was the key to this race. So, yeah, yeah, feel like he did a pretty good job of that towards the end. Just got caught in that battle that just used up too much tires, and yeah, just kind of ran out there at the end.
Very dynamic track. You were trying to make most of the passes down low because really you had to. Justin sticking to the top side for the most part. And after he used up his right front there on the slide and also making a little bit of contact with the wall, you were finally able to muscle him up enough and actually make that bottom work. I mean, that just that is difficult to say the least, and it looked as much.
Yeah, it definitely was. I was a little bummed he was even in the running there, unfortunately with the bit of a penalty situation. But yeah, like I said, just I was basically letting him stay in front and just saving my own tires and wait until the, had that tire advantage, I guess, to really make a move. But we saw TJ coming, so I figured I'd try and make the move. But definitely had better tires, as you could see after we got by. It dropped off quite a bit, but unfortunately just couldn't quite clear him, and just like I said, burned up the right front a little bit. Just probably started overheating it, and by the time TJ got to us, he wasn't really in that situation that we were both in for quite a few laps. So yeah, a bit frustrating, but I mean TJ definitely did a good job of taking advantage of the situation and getting by us pretty quickly.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats. I mean, you put on a great show for us and still a good finish here. I wanted to ask you kind of about the lines. I mean, you kind of stuck to the bottom pretty much all night here, but I mean, that's what a lot of folks did. There were only a couple of drivers out there, TJ being one of them, that were really, really utilizing the top side right up against the wall momentum off the corners. I mean, is it just too difficult to run that line consistently, or is it just not something that you're comfortable with? Or, I mean, what was the thinking on trying to stick to the bottom pretty much the whole night?
Just across the board, typically I'm more of a bottom feeder, I guess. Just be disciplined, just try to stay on the yellow line and stuff. I typically prefer that, but over a long stint, which fortunately we didn't really have there, if running the top was going to kill the right front, you're carrying more speed up there, so the right front's got a lot more load at those higher speeds, and you're asking a bit of it, especially in turn 2, to get off the wall and come down the track a bit. So over a long run, that's definitely not the move. And I thought that was the case, but that one stint where I think it was probably the second-ish stint when started on my way through the field there from like 4th to 3rd to 2nd, basically just sticking to the bottom. So that's kind of the validation I needed to be like, okay, I think the bottom is the best, at least with how I tire save. So yeah, I mean, maybe with that shorter run at the end, I maybe could have used it a little bit more, but up until we started battering, I felt the tires were in a really good window. I was just kind of biding my own time and waiting for the right moment to pounce, but unfortunately it just didn't quite go as cleanly as I was hoping. So if I would have got by him sooner, then I feel like that would have been a pretty clean run to the finish. But fortunately it didn't work out that way, so I got to be content with second.
Great battle in there at the end. Put on a fantastic show here tonight. Congrats on the second place. Shout-outs for you.
Yeah, as always, thanks to you guys. And yeah, Amigos Tequila, go check them out from Northeast Ohio area. Joey Selman's Motorsports Art as well for you guys are interested in smart work for iRacing cars. And yeah, family and friends watching as always, thanks for support. And obviously you want the top step, but definitely good to turn some iffy momentum around ups and downs this season. So hopefully I can keep this rolling.
Absolutely, partner. Road course racing next week. We'll hope to talk to you then, but go rest up after a pretty grueling race here tonight.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, 1 hour and 40 minutes on the clock, and the driver that'll be on the top step after the time expires is going to be TJ Crampton. The podium at Darlington, a nice 2 weeks off, and you're still in form when we come back racing here at the Rock. Welcome back to Booth 200, and welcome back to the top step here on a Monday night.
Yeah, it feels good to be here. Like you said, no rust, so that's good. And excited that I won. I was not expecting to do that, especially at a place like Rockingham. Statistically, in other leagues at least, this is probably one of my worst racetracks. So did some good strategy and did some good moves and got to the win.
Definitely some good moves. I'll let Matt talk about that. But how did you have so much pace there at the end? What was the difference there?
Honestly, there wasn't really too much of a tire gap. Really only like I think 10 laps, if that. Probably maybe like 5 green flag laps total. So not that much, but honestly, I just wasn't too worried about getting around all the guys in front of me and just lifting and coasting, backing up my corners, and it's really hard for me to tire save. I gotta keep reminding myself and get that into my brain that just back up the corner, get into the corner, and don't use up your stuff. And once I can get into the rhythm, I can do it pretty well. And I felt like today was one of those examples that I actually got into the rhythm and saved my stuff. So I saw them two fighting in front of me and going side by side, and I thought they were going to do that to the very end. So I had to make it through wide. I was getting a little bit nervous that they were going to do that and block me off. So when no one else was going to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else would have either. But Matt, what you got for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. Heck of a show for us here. So, I mean, you were practicing that top side. You were like the only person really running right on the wall. I mean, pretty early in this race. I mean, did you know just how handy it was going to come in here at the end of the race? Because I feel like you being able to practice that early on really set you up for success, because that's really the only place you could put the truck to try and get past these two.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only thing I can come up with is that I'm a dirt guy, and so I'm like Larson and Bell. I'll just go where everyone else is, and I'll go to the cushion. So I went to the cushion, but I did test it out, and I have done a few other races, and not with a truck, but other cars. The top line does work, and it's preferred in 1 and 2 sometimes, but it wasn't really today unless you had a bigger tire advantage, and I had a pretty good tire advantage. So luckily the truck was able to stick, and I didn't make a mistake and hit the wall. So, but I'm just glad it worked.
I did say at one point, I couldn't tell you what lap, but I did say that you banked it off the cushion at one point. So I just want the record to show that as well. Yeah, been a little bit, but we've got you back on the top step here on a Monday night in Truck 200, win number 2 with the series. Congratulations. Who do you want to thank? Who do you want to shout out?
First off, I just want to bring up that I hate it for everyone in the California wildfires. As a California native, I've had a lot of friends and acquaintances lose their houses and businesses. So my heart goes out to everyone affected by the wildfires in California. And other than that, I want to thank James and TWR and all the partners with them, and Hunter and Peter and everyone for the team. It's a great group of guys, and can't wait each week to go racing, and excited for Zandvoort next week. I want to thank you guys at Turn 200 and all my personal sponsors, Redline Oil and Extreme Mufflers.
Alrighty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on getting back to victory lane, and we'll hope to talk to you again here next week.
Thank you.
That is TJ Crampton, win number 2 in Truck 200 in absolutely thrilling fashion. What a race here tonight at the Rock. Great pick by Corey Rutherford, and hopefully he got his money's worth here tonight. I guess I should mention, since he did pay for this race here tonight, if you're looking to join an Xfinity League, we're getting ready to start back up on Sundays over at our friends on Green Flag TV. The ASRL Xfinity Series will be back in action at Daytona. If you want to come race with me and Matt on the high banks of Daytona, or really anywhere, it's a fantastic schedule this season. Not the least of which are the 2 races that I purchased, which are Irwindale and Lamar. So if you want to come cut it up on with us on Sunday evenings, get in touch with me or get in touch with Corey Rutherford. We'll get you pointed in the right direction. So thanks to him for sponsoring the race here tonight. And it was a banger at that, Matt. What a night.
It was crazy. It was such an up and down race here tonight. I mean, we had a couple of pretty good green flag runs there earlier on in the race, and then we have a big string of cautions starting right around lap 100, and then the run to the end from like 150-ish on to the end was unbelievable from those front runners. It was all over the joint. Everybody was all over the joint, and TJ Crampton used all of the racetrack here tonight to get it done. So it was certainly a fun one to watch. That's one of the better battles we've had at the end of the race for 15 plus laps, maybe ever on this channel. So big shout out to those drivers that were involved in that one. And thank you to everybody else that was watching here tonight. Don Golden cheering on the Rutherford boys. Speaking of the Rutherford boys, Joshua Rutherford and Corey Rutherford were in the chat throughout the night. Garrett Rainey, Hunter Leach, John K at JK Gaming. Josh Monachek was here a little bit earlier as well as Pamela Engrav, Amy Phillips cheering on Paul Ellison, who had a good top 5 finish here tonight as well. Rob Williams, good to see Rob in the chat. And I think Nate Siefker was here a little bit earlier on as well. Unfortunately, he was looking pretty good there for a while, and it did not end well for the two. So, but thank you guys for tuning in, chatting with us. Hope you enjoyed that one. I know you enjoyed it if you were watching there at the end. And we will see you tomorrow night.
Absolutely, we will. Las Vegas tomorrow night for the Venom Truck Series, round number 2 of the season, coming off of an electric finish to the season opener last week at the Rockingham Memorial. We're in action tomorrow night. What should be with the track refresh, or the oval refresh rather. Truck racing tomorrow night at Las Vegas is going to be a lot more fun than it's been in the past, and thank the Lord for that. Because honestly, it couldn't get much worse. So we're excited for that one tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we'll be back at action on Monday night. That will be at Zandvoort National. Very nervous and also excited for that one. It's going to be a wacky one. It's going to be a wild one. But that's what we live for here on Monday Night Trucking. So 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And I also want to point out as well, you'll hear plenty of plugs for it, but next Friday night is the debut of Special Stage. Some jumpy truck action on Friday nights starting next Friday. So we're excited for that one. The Wild West, the Wild West Motorsports Park opener for that one is going to be fantastic. So join us next Friday, but join us next Monday, and also join us next tomorrow for some Venom Truck Series racing action. That's all we got for you here tonight. Thank you to Garrett Rainey, as always, for doing race control. Thank you to the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, for doing what he does and making us look so darn good here on a Monday night. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us, and thank you to the drivers of Truck 200 as well. Till we meet again here from Rockingham Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to TJ Crampton on win number 2 in Truck 200. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.